You know, I miss you, David. I miss chatting with you online, and it's so fun when I get you online. Not only to see you, to hear from you, to talk to you, but what is there some kind of, rupture? Rupture is the popular word in Canada these days. Is there some sort of rupture going on in BC politics that you might have heard of recently?
Oh, yeah, big time. You imagine how much I miss you too, John.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, I
No,
hope
there,
you like the Seahawks because I got them here, for at least for this week.
yeah, that was a great win for the team and the franchise. It was
Yeah.
outstanding. No, there's a lot of things happening. There's a tremendous amount of pressure on the premier, the administration with what's happening. There was two big articles this past week that I highlighted with my clients. One was our great friend Rob Shaw, who put together a good overview of just how bad the deficit is. And then Vaughn Palmer in the Vancouver Sun just showed the lack of respect the premier has on the finance side and showcased the fact that Horgan kicked him out of his Treasury Department and didn't want to be part of it because it did make sense. And it is now getting to the level where it's catastrophic and there's a lot of pressure. And then there's a budget next week. And what I'm hearing is that there is a number in the caucus in the cabinet that aren't on side. And you're in a situation with the amount of MLAs on the NDP side, they basically have to have everybody voting for the budget.
Well,
People are
especially with the
upset.
Green Party removing their confidence this past
Exactly,
week.
John.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was significant as well. And
Hmm.
so you have a situation where because it's so bad, tough decisions are going to be made, huge cutbacks, people getting let go. People are affected, and there are going to be some that are on side with that, others that know it
But
makes a lot of
David,
common
that is
sense.
BC's economy. That is Premier Eby's sole economic development plan. Hire more government workers.
Yeah, and it
That's no
hasn't
good.
worked. Yeah, and I sent a letter to the editor today to the Times Colonist because one of the big areas is the amount of public service employees that have been added. I don't think anybody thinks that the level of service is getting any better. And with everybody and so many working from home, what's the accountability of these employees? So people are frustrated, and we're in a situation where I think something's going to be done. But when you don't have the support, even within your own caucus, that means one thing, the budget's not approved, and we have an election coming up, and it will be sometime in the next, I don't know how it works. When do they respect the other party when they're looking for a leader? There's a number of people from the conservative side, but that are
No, there'll
putting
be
their
no
names forward.
respect. There'll be no respect.
But no, I got wind that there's no harmony. People upset. You've got a top-down approach in terms of just a few chief lieutenants outside of the cabinet making so many of the decisions with the premier, and people are upset. But the economic damage is significant. Everybody's seeing it,
Yeah.
and I think we're at a time where Canada wants to get their economy going, and there's so many roadblocks because of an ideology here in BC that's restricting what Canada can do, especially on the Alberta side. What is positive is the leadership at BC Hydro. I think you're going to hear a number of really interesting announcements coming up, maybe as early as next week. There's a reality now that we have now probably gone 10 years of not doing anything. Yes, we got Site C going, but there was a lack of initiatives because the previous leadership at BC Hydro was more listening to what the politicians and what the premier was saying versus running it as an independent organization.
Yeah.
Charlotte Mitha now runs the organization. She's outstanding, and I think you're going to see some good things. So our most important public utility is doing some good things, but at the same time, I think we're going to have a budget not going through. We're going to have an election coming up very, very soon, and it'll be very, very interesting. But people are upset. There was just a meeting, I think, yesterday in Vancouver where about 200 people usually show up to a CEO type of, I think it was a luncheon or a breakfast. There was 400 people there,
Oh
and there
boy.
was senior people in the business community that was very vocal. There was one person that we just talked about on the media side that was almost yelling in the microphone because he was so upset with the policies that have happened. So it's going to be an interesting spring in BC, but we've got to get this province going. I always say, being part of the Bateman Foundation, at least they can't take away our nature in BC. It's the most beautiful place in the world, but they sure have taken away our stability of our finances, safety and
Yeah, if
community.
you
Those
can't
other things.
pay to buy a car to go see nature, something's wrong.
Oh, there's
If you
some,
can't
yeah,
pay the ferry rate because you have no money and no job, something's wrong.
yeah,
So something is wrong in BC. The rest of the country is mobilizing to react to the world economic shifting, and we are not. And so giddy up. Let's go. Let's do something. So thanks for this insight. How about you and I touch base maybe in a month? See what
yeah,
happens.
yeah, definitely. And the nice thing about it is there's so many people in BC, young and old. There's passion back. People know there needs to be a change. And that's unfortunately what happens when you get to dire straits. Decisions have to be made, changes have to be done, and it looks like it's happening very, very soon. Thanks for having me on, John. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend.
Hey,
Bye, David.
you as well. Bye-bye.